Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, March 25th, and welcome to another day. Uh, I'm going to keep sending you guys messages and calling to check in on you guys, so look forward to those calls. I'll try to get everybody in this week. So, without further ado, let's take a look at our schedule stuff for today. Reminders. Make sure you get take advantage of that free lunch and breakfast up at the high school. You do not need to call ahead. You can just go up and pick those up, take advantage of those, and have a chance to get out. So take a look at those up at the high school. If you have any questions at all, you can give me a call. You can call the school number 822-5123. My extension's 128. So feel free to call there, and I'll get the number. My email is also fine. Dojo is probably the best option. So keep those messages coming in on Dojo. I've gotten messages from a bunch of you, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. So keep those messages coming. Reminder, there's no parent-teacher conferences this week, obviously. But if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. And then just stay home and stay safe. That's the most important thing right now. Some thoughts for today as far as academics go. Taking a look at math. Make sure you got those math facts down, got those dirty 30 facts. Give those a few practices. Make sure you've got your math facts down really well. Spend some time on Prodigy. About 15 minutes would be good. Keep answering those questions. Playing the game. If you want to go longer, that's up to you and your family, but keep playing on Prodigy. Take a look at your math journal. You can work ahead. You can go back, whatever you're comfortable with. But try to keep up and brush up on those skills so you're not losing those skills. So we've been working really hard to learn all of those different division facts and angles and fractions. We don't want to lose that. So make sure that you keep working on those so that whenever this is all over, we can still have that knowledge and we can build off of it. Reading, make sure you got AR. You should be doing that 20 to 30 minutes a day. So make sure that you are curled up with a good book. It's supposed to be kind of rainy today, so it might be a good day to just kind of hang out and read and relax. So read. And there was a Socrative question yesterday, but it'll be a different one today. Social studies, there's going to be a video up, and it'll actually relate back to that Socrative question. So there's going to be a video up today, so watch for that video. Some pretty big announcements, so you'll want to watch that social studies video. As far as Phi-Ed goes, I did link social studies and Phi-Ed together just so I've got everybody. And Mr. Buckley sent out a link and a post. So check that out. There's some great ideas and fun stuff with a bunch of different links. You can take a look at that. It's in the in the social studies / Phi-Ed classroom, but check the class story for that. There's some really good stuff. And now on to Shredder Man. We read the first couple chapters of Attack of the Tiger. And if you haven't listened to this part of the read aloud, you might want to go back and make sure you catch up on the other ones. We started this on Monday. And we read chapters 1 and 2 on Monday. We choose chapters 3 and 4 on Tuesday. So today we'll do 2 more chapters. And we've got Mr. Green's van has been tagged by this person with graffiti, and Shredder Man is on it trying to find out who it was. We don't know who it was, but we are pretty sure it wasn't Bubba. Chapter 5, The Can Turns Up. At Cedar Valley Elementary, the kindergartners hang their backpacks on a big wooden rack outside their classroom. It's in a little alcove, and when I was in kindergarten, I never worried about anyone stealing my stuff. That was before Bubba Bixby came to town. I was never worried about anyone putting criminal evidence in my backpack, but that's exactly what happened to Trinity's little sister. When the AM kindergartners were packing up to go home, she found the red spray can. It was stashed in her backpack. Trinity sits across from me in Mr. Green's class. Trinity, Freddie, Randy, and I are all assigned to table 4. Freddie and Randy are just regular guys, not bullies, just medium mean. Trinity, though, is pretty nice. She's not very good at math, but she can draw like crazy, especially horses. She's great at drawing horses. And by the time we got from lunch, everyone had heard about the spray can turning up. The police had been there taking pictures, talking to Mr. Green and Dr. Voss, walking around with the spray can in a plastic bag. Trinity was pretty worked up about it, too, because she because the can was found in her sister's backpack. Who could have put it there? She whispered across the table to me. She put it there, pony girl, Randy said. Did not. Sure she did. She drew the picture all by herself on Mr. Green's van. He rolled up his eyes and made a big dumb baby face. Duh. Trinity said, Shut up, Randy. I wasn't asking you. He shrugged and gave Freddie an evil grin. Then he looked back at her and said, Sorry. I just didn't hear your boyfriend answering you. Boyfriend? My eyes got big. My cheeks turned red. Was he talking about me? Shut up, stupid, Trinity told him. He's not my boyfriend. She looked at me. He's just my friend. She whipped around to face Freddie and Randy, which is more than I can say about you guys. Then the three of them pulled their faces and stuck tongues out at each other and said, Shut up! No, you shut up! About 20 times back and forth. I just sat there feeling embarrassed. Now, all day I've been trying to figure out how I could get back to Mr. Green's van without someone seeing me. But before lunch, Mr. Green was in such a bad mood that I didn't want to ask him. Then, at recess, lunch, there were too many people around, including police. I didn't have an easy way to get back to his van if I didn't have to do it without being seen. But being invisible was key. The power of Shredder Man is that people not knowing who he was, and people thinking Shredder Man could be anyone. After lunch, Mr. Green wasn't quite so mad, so when our class was on their way over to the computer lab, I asked him, Can I go do something? I'll be right back. He started to ask me what I was going to do, but I could see him change his mind. Instead, he gave me a quick nod and said, Hurry back. To get to the teacher's parking lot, you've got to go either through the playground or past the office. If you go through the playground, you're in wide open. Anyone with a portable classrooms would be able to spot you. But if you go past the office, well, that's where Dr. Voss is. And getting spotted by her would be worse than getting spotted by all the other teachers combined. But still, there was one principal and about 25 teachers going to be by the office that might be more dangerous. But the odds were definitely better. So I broke off from the class. On my way to the computer lab, I ran behind the portables, behind the library, behind the multi-purpose room, all the way to the office. I ducked behind a bush and could see how the office lady, Mrs. Holler, through the window. She was on the phone, leaning her elbow, looking out at the flowers in the courtyard. The minute she turned her back, I zoomed across the courtyard and dove behind the hedge that runs next to the office building. I crawled on my hands and knees past the office and under Dr. Voss's window. I crawled clear to the back of the building. There was a barricade, about 20 big green plastic stacks full of yard waste. But on the other side, oh yeah, the parking lot. The teacher's parking lot is like a V with cars along both edges. One side is by the office, the other side is by a cliff of bushes that drops down into the soccer fields. I had to get from where I was to the other side, to the cliff side. I looked left, nobody around. I looked right, the coast was clear. I crawled along a couple of car bumpers, then scooted between the pickup truck and the fancy silver car with spoked wheels. And I was getting ready to jet across the other side of the parking lot when, vroom! The silver car right next to me started up. I crawled around my pickup truck and watched the fancy car back out. My heart was pounding like crazy. Had they seen me? No, I told myself. They wouldn't back away if they knew I was practically hid under the wheel. They would get out and ask me why I was sneaking around in the parking lot. And then I saw who was driving away in that fancy silver car. Dr. Voss. I'd almost been run over by the principal. I watched her drive off and then made myself calm down a little. I didn't have time to waste being scared. I had a picture to take, and I had to do it fast. So I hurried across the parking lot and captured the dumb baby digitally. Then I snuck back the way I'd come. And now I couldn't wait for school to get let out so that I could get to work on my next step of my plan. Chapter 6, Old Town. Wow, honey, Mom says. I blasted through the front door. What happened? What do you mean? I asked, peeling off my backpack. You're so dirty. She started picking stuff off the back of my shirt and out of my hair. You've got leaves and pricklers, and Nolan, your jeans are filthy. I shook her off and noticed she was right. The knees of my jeans were caked with dirt. Alvin Bixby didn't push you down again, did he? Because if he did... No, Mom, I had a great day. You did? Looks like you got some exercise today. No computer lab at recess? I got myself a juice box from the fridge. Nope. She smiled. Great. So who'd you play with? I shrugged. I just played. I vacuumed up my juice fast. And you know what? What? Now I want to go ride my bike. She blinked at me. Really? I grabbed another juice box. Uh-huh. You're right. I should get more exercise. She was blinking like crazy. Well, okay. You remember the rules of the road? Of course. Wear your helmet. Ride on the right side. Look both ways before you. Mom. Okay. Sorry, honey. I slurped out the bottom of the juice box, tossed it in the trash, and headed for the garage. Why are you taking your backpack, Nolan? In case I find something cool on my ride. But aren't all those books heavy? I dumped the books out and said, I feel like going for a long ride, so don't worry, okay, Mom? But, Mom, I'll be fine. She scrambled around, then handed me her cell phone. Here, take this, in case you get a flat or something. I rolled my eyes. A superhero calling his mom to the rescue. Jeez. I'd been to the Old Town Square a bunch of times before, but never on my bike, and never alone. It was about 10 minutes away in the car. I knew that, so I figured it would take me about 15 on my bike. I may not be great at basketball or soccer, but I can fly on my bike. I blasted down the street. My digital speedometer said 10, 15, 20, 24.5 miles per hour. I was passing people. Dogs. Cars. By the time I got to Old Town Square, I swear there was a superhero cape flapping behind me in the wind behind me. You can't drive through Old Town Square. You have to park outside and walk. And that goes for bikes and skateboards and scooters too. There's a nice green park in the middle, and the benches with the trees and squirrels and statues, and all around the stores are connected by a great big U around on 3 sides of the park. The stores all look the same. They're built out from wood and have a non-stop porch going from one to the next to the other, to the next. The boards always creak when you walk. I hate the sound of them, but Mom says it's part of the Old Town charm. Hopefully you guys are kind of picturing this right now of what this place looks like. So we've got a park in the middle and 3 sides are connected with stores. But before I even got inside the square, I saw what I was looking for. Red paint. Right away, I could tell that it had been done by the same person who sprayed Mr. Green's van. On the side of the building, right where everyone could see it, when they walked into the square, a giant dumb baby, eyes rolling up, buck teeth going left and right, and it had a talkie balloon that said, duh. I locked my bike, took out my digital camera, and moved in. There were people all over the place, so I just tried to act like I was one of them. I found a place to get a good picture, and after walking back and forth about 10 times, I figured it didn't really matter if someone saw me taking pictures. Who knew me around here anyway? So I just went up, clicked a few shots, and hurried back to my bike. But while I was unlocking my bike, a whole bunch of other kids came skidding up on their bikes up to the bike rack next to mine. They were wearing backpacks too, and helmets. And normally they wouldn't have made me nervous or anything, but the way they were laughing made me feel a little self-conscious. Usually I don't hear people laughing kind of mean like that. They're laughing at me. So I looked down and retied my shoe, hoping they would go away and leave me alone. Then one of them said, duh. Duh. I peeked at them through the spokes of my front wheel. They weren't even looking at me. They were looking at the graffiti. One by one, all 5 of them peeled off their helmets. These were boys from school. I ducked lower, trying to hide behind my bike. 2 of them I knew were 6th graders, but I didn't know their names. The other two, the two other 6th graders I did know, Carl Blanco and Ryan Voss. And the last boy was big enough to be a 6th grader, but it was only in 5th grade. Bubba Bixby. They started walking, and I started trailing them. I hid behind a trash can, a bench, a tree. I scooted from one to the next, following the 5 of them towards the red dumb baby. When I finally stood still, I aimed my camera between the slats of a bench and bzz, click, bzz, click, bzz, click. I got pictures of them laughing, one of them giving each other high fives and low fives. I got lots of pictures, and the minute they took off to walk through Old Town, I took off for home. Shredder Man had work to do. And that's the end of the chapter. So tune in tomorrow. We'll do some more read aloud. Take a look at those. Take a look at your social studies. There should be a post up there today as well that I think you'll be excited about. And take a look through all of those. If you have any questions at all, feel free to message me on Dojo or call. You guys are doing phenomenal. I love hearing the messages from you guys, and I love hearing from you. So keep those messages coming in, and I look forward to talking to you later. Bye.